Hey everybody, we're going to do another bloom. Honestly, the reason I started getting into the bloom was not really for the beautiful cells and the lacing that you get. It's really for that watercolor effect that you get that can be really, really difficult to achieve with just using acrylic paint. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and pour out the pillow first. Now, sometimes I have a tendency to put a little too much on, and then I end up having to overstretch my paints, and that's not good. Because when you tilt this off, you do want to make sure you get as much paint off as you possibly can, because it will crack. I did a test where I had too much of the pillow on, and if I kept stretching, I would have completely lost my design. So I took a gamble and I quit spinning and tilting, and I went ahead and let it dry, and it cracked. I had one big honking crack running right through the middle. But that's okay because it was kind of ugly anyways. All right, so I am gonna stretch this out a little bit. This pillow is Sherwin-Williams Color to Go. I do have it thinned down with just a little bit of water. Does not take much water to thin this stuff out. I don't really know what I'm doing. I've been dreaming about what I'm gonna do with these colors, with this technique. And then I put it on canvas and it all breaks down. But I think I'm gonna do, okay, so I'm not gonna do a normal cell activator in the middle. I'm just gonna drizzle my cell activator because I don't want a little cluster of cells. I just want a little bit of lacing throughout. I don't know what this will do for me, but so I'm going to put my color down here. I'm actually gonna make a line. One downside is you can't use a torch, and so you gotta poke these bubbles with a little skewer. Now, normally if you let your paint sit after you mix for a day, it'll minimize the bubbles, but I am not doing that. All right, burnt sienna. Initially, I was actually thinking I'm gonna do a chaos style Dutch pour and just sort of drizzle the colors and then blow it, but these paints are so thick, I feel like that would take me forever. All right, now we've got greenish blue. Now I got the cell activator. I'm just going to drizzle this over. You know what I should have done before I put the cell activator on is catch up my edges. I am going to do that really, really quick because this thick paint does not like to go over the edge. Let's go ahead and blow this out. I don't really have too much of a plan. I'm not sure. I'll just start here, and then we'll just see where it takes me. I think that's actually all I'm going to do. And by the way, I stretched my base coat out, or sorry, the pillow. I stretched it out a little too much because normally that paint moves really well. And even with my hair dryer on high, it was a bit of a struggle. So, I mean, that may be a good thing though, because like I said, I've had an issue with having too much on and a little bit of overstretching happening. Okay, let's give it a spin and then I'll see where I need to stretch. No, it's not true. I'm gonna stretch it first. Is gonna have a hard time, I think, moving this side over here specifically. But, you know, let's spin and see what we get here. We're gonna tilt again because I really need this top part to come off. Let's spin again. Okay, I'm gonna tilt some more. Okay, that's almost exactly what I'm going for, guys. I am gonna spin just a little bit more. Yeah, it needed that. Man, that pillow goes a long way. I need to keep spinning because there's still paint on the canvas. And I don't want this to crack because it's, I think, way too pretty. I just want to see if more paint's coming off when I spin. Yeah, a little tiny bit more. I think it might be good here. Okay, I think this is really cool looking. But yeah, I do need to get used to, well, trying to figure out what is the right amount of base coat versus the wrong amount. Sorry, pillow. Because, you know, I don't want to have to overstretch or anything like that. Interesting enough is y'all, I experimented with different recipes over the weekend and finally landed on one where my paints did not break apart. Well, first of all, my cells weren't holding their shape. Secondly, well, they kind of were, but not very well. Secondly, a lot of the colors would bleed into that base coat. And I mean, after 3 solid days of buying new ingredients, mixing new paints, taking stuff out, putting stuff in, I mean, I was exhausted Sunday night. And I had gone through a lot of paint, but I finally licked the problem and I did a couple small canvases. In fact, I did 2 of the same size canvas. I mean, these aren't really large. I mean, this is a 12 by, I think, 14 or 16. And all the colors held up really nice. But right here, right now, I am seeing just in this one spot, I mean, I normally see it immediately, just in this one spot, a little bit of those colors breaking apart. Now, I think it's cool because it kind of just adds to that little watercolory type of theme, but I do need to make sure I lick this problem. I don't know. I got to figure that out. But anyways, I think this is really cool, and I think I'm going to do more of these in a similar style. Some I might stretch, some I might spin, but I really, really like how this turned out. And I'm really, my goal is to move up to larger canvases. I have a lot of canvases I'm looking at right now screaming my name, but I do want to figure out the blow and just everything else. I mean, this is very different working with the specific recipe and these thick paints. Very different from, you know, just blowing a Dutch pour. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty cute. I will say this, if this was a regular Dutch pour, I would just take my palette knife and, you know, reshape some of that, maybe scrape that little doohickey off, round this out a little bit. But you can't do that with these because that pillow paint is so thick. It's already started to dry a little bit. It does dry quick. And if I were to do that and then put more pillow on, it may not kind of come together properly. And it will be noticeable when it dries. So I will not be doing, I mean, maybe that's something I can experiment with one of these days. But yeah, that's what we got. Actually, I kind of like it this way. Well, that's kind of cool. All right. Well, that is all we got. Thank you all for watching.